I appreciated that there was so much acknowledgement of her. A lot of people that were just devastated that she died.
Absolutely. And was this newsworthy too? Did someone put
Yes.
this on the news? Because I
Yes.
feel like she didn't realize the ripple effect of her passing.
You and me, chasing down forever after.
Hello and welcome to Grieving to Believing. I'm Deb Sheppard. There is no greater loss than that of a child, no matter what age. My mission is to help parents heal, find peace, and be inspired that their angels in heaven are still giving them messages of love. Besides knowing that a parent, a mother, or father will be here today, I have no idea who I'm going to be speaking to. So let's dive in and see where this journey takes us. I'm getting here that you've lost a son. Does that make sense?
I haven't lost a son. No.
Lost a daughter. Okay,
Daughter.
what's her first name?
Leilani.
Why? She is just a powerhouse. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Yes.
The first thing I got was this strong woman that didn't feel like a weak girl. When you said, no, I haven't lost any sons, I was like, okay, well, this is a strong girl that is very powerful. And I'm also getting that she hasn't been gone very long. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do guess it depends on how we define time.
Absolutely, too. And she's also said you've done so much work around her loss, like understanding her passing. Do you understand this too?
Yes.
She's
Indeed.
telling me that you have been her hero throughout life, that you have been this person that always stood by and believed in her or believed in what needed to be done. And she says, even though there's been so much sorrow with her loss, it's also taking you on a path that you never expected. Do you understand this?
I do.
She says that you continue to fight through no matter what happens. You are just this fighter through everything. But she doesn't feel like your only child. So do you have another child that's alive?
Yeah, she has a older brother and an older sister.
Okay. And she's laughing. She goes, "But I was the special one."
She would say that.
Yeah, just as a joke kind of a thing. And I
Yes,
would
it is.
and what's your daughter's name again? I'm sorry, I didn't write it down.
Leilani.
Leilani. Oh, that's a Hawaiian name.
It is. She was a very fair, blonde, green-eyed girl. Doesn't look
Okay.
Hawaiian at all, but I loved her name.
Yeah, I love it too, but that reminds me of it kind of fits her personality.
It does.
It's
I
this
agree.
weakness, it's this the way I feel like she shows up is that she played her own type of way of living. Like she didn't play by other people's rules.
Oh, so true.
And that her name really fit her because it wasn't traditional, is what she's telling me. That she lived a life that was her own way and that she made a mark on lots of different people. Like she made a difference in other people's lives. I'm also seeing that a lot of people still remember her because of how she showed up for them.
Yes.
Big heart, big kindness. God, she feels young. How old was she when she passed?
She was 39.
She feels so full of life and but so young at the same time.
Indeed.
And I just feel that so much going on for her, so much life. Like when I first connected with her, I felt like she was in high school. Like she just had so much life ahead of her. There was just so much going on for her. Um, was her death unexpected?
Very unexpected. Yes.
First of all, I'm sorry as I get into this. I'm just trying to connect better.
Sure.
She feels that someone else was involved, or there's the situation doesn't, there's more involved than just her passing. Was there someone else involved with her death or someone else there?
She was pregnant.
Okay. So she was with the child and then died you've lost a granddaughter on top of or grandchild on top of this.
No, the grandson survived.
Okay.
Um,
But she was pregnant with him when oh, okay.
exactly. It's very unexpected.
Did she die during childbirth then? Or close to it?
She was quite early. It was 27 weeks in her
Okay.
pregnancy and very sudden.
Okay, I keep getting there was so much going on. I'm not getting exactly how her passing, but I'm getting unexpected. Obviously, someone with her son. And she says that her son Is he a spitting image of her, either personality or appearance?
Personality for sure, and some looks on his face.
Okay. But she
Yeah,
just says he's got a lot of energy just like she did.
that is very true.
Okay. And what's
Yeah.
the idea? Is there a sepsis or an infection that happens for her?
She had eclampsia,
Okay.
and she had a seizure and a brainstem hemorrhage.
Okay.
Um,
So this is what I'm getting is like it all happens, all this stuff is going
Suddenly.
on. Okay. Because I knew it was fast. It didn't feel like a suicide. It didn't feel like, I just
Mm-mm.
feel like all these things took place, but she has no regrets of being pregnant.
I lost my youngest daughter. She was 39. She had a 21-year-old son at the time, and she was pregnant with the second son. And at 27 weeks, she was having some massive headaches, which wasn't that unusual for her. She tended to get migraines for a lot of years, so it didn't seem that unusual. And there had also been a stomach flu going around. She was an assistant principal at an alternative high school that was similar to her teenage background when she became a very young mom. So she was really wonderful there, and she was vomiting and just feeling awful from this. And I'm like, Leilani, it's probably the stomach flu. And she was due to go to see her obstetrician soon after that. But long story short, her 21-year-old son drove her to urgent care. I was at work and drove her to urgent care. While she was there, she had a seizure from eclampsia that then caused brainstem hemorrhages. She was rushed to the emergency room at a nearby hospital, and from there they realized that her baby was under a lot of stress, and put her out and did a C-section and got him out. He was 1 pound 11 ounces when he was born, and was shortly after that helicoptered to a different hospital that was more involved with that premature of a child. So for that day, we stayed at the hospital where she was and spoke to the neurologist that had done some examination of her brain, and he basically said there are 0 survivors in this brainstem hemorrhage. And they put her on medical devices to keep her bodily parts going. And I notified a few of her friends, 2 of them actually, that I could just notify that your friend is not good. And all of a sudden, lots of educators showed up. Like, I don't even know how many, 50, 75, I don't even know. There were so many came to the hospital. The neurologist said she might be able to hear things and understand things. Her brain can't make her body do anything, but she might be able to hear what they have to say. So we kept her alive until the day after the baby was born, so that his birthday wasn't the day his mother died. At some point, we figured that would be a very difficult thing.
Says that you have done so much, and that are you an influence on her son too? Like you try to keep her memory alive, is what I'm feeling.
Yes, with both of her sons. Yes.
Okay. And first of all, I want to tell you I'm sorry about the loss of your daughter, because she is definitely one that I just see pushing the edge of the envelope. Like I almost feel like she could be an astronaut because she just pushed herself no matter what. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Um, she feels like there's been things done in memory of her to keep her memory alive.
That is true.
And she also says, sometimes, Mom, you need to take a break.
Mhm.
I see you with the hat on. Are you going through some health issues?
Brain cancer, stage 4.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
And she says that you keep telling her that she better be there when it's your time.
Yes. I hope it won't be for a long time, but yes.
Um, she says she will be, but she says that there's still hope for you because there's still things you can do. Do you understand?
I do. I'm doing those on my head right now.
Yeah, and she says, don't give up
Right.
because there's things. And she's also feeling that you have also been, I'm using the archetype pioneer, like you're you're a person that tries to get ahead of things. Like you're the person that tries to understand things, that you don't sit back and be the victim. Even though you have cancer and you've lost a child, you keep showing up in a very powerful way, no matter what. And
Probably some truth to that.
she just says that I couldn't be more proud of that.
Oh,
But she says it's also okay to ask for help because sometimes you're not good at that.
that is very true.
Um, I don't see her dad around. Where's dad?
Um, Dad is around. He just is in Arizona.
Okay. I just feel like he's like you dig into your grief or you dig into it where I feel like dad just wants to kind of blanket out. And it's not a negative. Everyone deals with grief differently. But she just says that dad has his path and you have yours.
That is true.
Who just got a new car or is having issues with their vehicle?
Her older son has issues with his vehicle. He hasn't gotten a car yet.
Okay, so she says, see who can help him with that. She
Yes.
feels that her kids, is there a huge age difference between her kids, like a few years?
Oh, more than a few. Her
Okay.
son is 25 and her little one's 3.5.
Okay, so she says there's a big difference, but at the same
Yes.
time, she feels um, they both have their unique way of doing things and their unique way of living life in their own way.
Mm, yeah.
Um, she's asking you to have some forgiveness. And I'm not a big person that likes to forgive, but do you know what that's about?
Um, I'm not 100% certain unless, yeah, I'm not sure unless it has to do with her little guy's father, but we're making progress there.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
it's about trying to figure out having a relationship with the dad of the young one.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm working hard to make it
okay.
one.
And in my belief system, it's not forgiving him, but it's trying to have a relationship with obviously your grandson.
Yes,
To do,
absolutely. That's the main priority. And yeah,
and
he's being kind to me.
she says, just mom, put on the acting gear and you got this.
I do that.
Um, she also says that you're very much of the healer or the caretaker, like you like to take care of other people. And she says that's a great distraction, but it's also okay to take care of you.
Mm, true.
Okay, to have fun. What do you want to ask her?
Well, Leilani had kitties that she loved, and I just wonder if she's getting to hang out with those lovely kitties.
Um, the first thing I get is more than you will know, Mom.
Oh, okay, good.
The rescue ones too, like she'd find one and bring it home. Or she
Um,
felt like someone needed a home, like I will make sure that this fur baby's taken care of.
yes, yes.
She's telling me that she's giving me the number 11, so it may be that she had 11 cats at one time or through time, or the fact that maybe she had too many. But I also feel that she had her favorites. Were some outside and some inside cats. Like I feel like they were not all just pets inside.
They were allowed in and out, but
Yeah.
yes,
So
yeah,
she's telling me this. And she
yeah.
also feels that this is a person that I get, like when I've gotten earlier, someone that just pushed through life no matter what, but also had this huge heart along the way.
Hmm.
Like she'd be the one that if you need something, here's my shirt. If you need, like she didn't keep
Hmm.
score. But she also says that she also attracted people that had a lot of problems, and she feels bad about that.
That is true. Some were hard on her.
Yeah.
She was helpful and kind and caring, and yeah, that is very true.
And the
And
fact, and she says that was there some issues regarding her service? Was there something like were you able to be, did you have a voice in her service? Did you have a voice in what was happening after her death?
it was a big service. It was held at a high school because there were so many people attending. She was an educator.
Okay.
Lots and lots and lots of educators showed up and loved her and miss her to this day. So um, it
Did you?
was it was hard.
Well, absolutely. You're not supposed to bury your children. I feel
Yes.
that she was a little bit overwhelmed by that, but I feel as it took a life of its own. That your
Did.
part was sometimes like, I want to have this intimate, I want to be able to grieve my daughter, I want to be able to honor my daughter, but it just kept snowballing. Like you didn't have the control that you wanted.
Um, she had some educational friends that put it all together, and I was really grateful for that.
Right.
It was quite large, and many people wanted to pay her respect and bring things for her new baby, so that he would have things, supplies and books and whatnot. So, um, I appreciated that there was so much acknowledgement of her. A lot of people that were just devastated that she died.
Absolutely. And was this newsworthy too? Did someone put
Yes.
this on the news? Because I feel like she didn't realize the ripple effect of her passing. Like
That
how many lives that she affected.
there were a lot of lives. She worked at a lot of low income schools and did a lot of wonderful work with helping some of these young kids become, her scores were higher for getting these, I think there were second graders have the highest scores had ever grown, and other teachers were learning from her. They were coming to observe her. But when she passed, one of her close friends who was an assistant principal, and they were good friends together. There was a story on 9 News actually about her passing and donating for breast cancer, because that was a big passion of hers. I'm not breast cancer, I'm sorry, breastfeeding. To be sure to donate breast milk if people could.
Wow.
And so her little boy got a lot of breast milk.
And it's interesting because I think she reminds me a little bit of Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the sense of having a voice, don't let other people stop you,
Yeah.
standing up for what you believe, even with what's going on in our country. I feel like she would have not been happy about things.
Oh, no, especially the most recent things that
Yes, yes.
happened. She would be really upset.
Yeah. And especially when you look at the low income, like for her, she just saw people as possibilities, is what she's
Yes.
telling me. She never judged them based on what they were wearing or who they were or where they came from. She just says everyone has a possibility to be the greatness that they are.
Hmm.
And I think that passing so early in her life, that she's one of those individuals that will be remembered because she started a legacy
Hmm.
about how we can be different in our world. And also, there's a sense of being empowered as a woman, but not taking power.
Mm.
She felt like you can have a voice, everyone is valuable, we all can show up differently. And I feel like that's definitely her energy and will always be. And that's why I got her as a male, first of all, because it was just so dominant in a way of how I want to show up. And it's not negative or positive, it's just that she did not play small.
True.
She just wanted to have, it's almost like I feel like she has this beacon or this lighthouse of energy of how to get people to understand that there's so much more to give. And because of the people that she shared her interests with, she's not going to be out of our world for a very long time. I think she's one of those individuals that we're going to remember.
Hmm.
And she also says, take the vacation even if you think that you're not ready to take one. Do you know what that means?
I do. I do. There's some places I've been wanting to go, and with medical treatments, it's been a little scary for me to do that.
Okay. She says that you're an inspiration for others.
Oh, thank you.
You're taking these risks so that you can give encouragement to others,
Yes,
that you're willing to fight no matter what.
that is true, and it's important to me since her sons don't have their mom anymore. I keep thinking that his mother, that the little guy's mother, communicates with him, because I get these unexpected grins out of his face, and I talk about his mom, and I show him pictures of his mom, and I feel like she's right there on his shoulder or something. It just
100%.
yeah,
100%.
good.
So your son doesn't have the limited belief that this is not real. He's not been told that communicating with the other side on the other side of the veil is ludicrous or wrong. So he knows he was there with his mom when she crossed. So he has that
Yeah.
connection. So as long as that keeps getting nurtured, he will always
Mhm.
feel his mom around. And she
Yeah.
says he's a busy, typical little boy
Yes.
and
Yes.
curious and wants to know what's going on and talks a mile a minute and just has so much energy that he just is curious and she knows that you're going to keep that memory alive of her.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very intuitive, so you can probably speak to him intuitively. That's why he probably hears his mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The look on his face tells me she's there.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
she goes, even when he's in trouble, because I just feel very curious. This is very curious little kid all the time. Did he have a recent growth spurt, like he was not growing and then just had a recent growth spurt?
He is tall, and his father's side of the family is very tall. They're
Okay.
all 6 foot plus. So
So she's bringing this up that she does see him and knows what's happening. Okay.
yes, yes, and that height did not come from us short ones.
Any other questions you want to ask your daughter? I'm so sorry.
One more thing came to my mind when, as she was, once we knew she was passing, and obviously we had her on machines to keep her alive because all her bodily organs were, I'm sure, shutting down rather quickly. Um, do you think she could hear what family and friends were saying to her before we pulled the plug?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
there were lots of people there. I don't know how many, 50, 60, 75. I don't even know. They kept showing up at the hospital to
and she's
say
telling
goodbye.
me that it could be a little annoying because there were so many people in there.
There were a lot of people in there, and they all just wanted to just give her
Say,
a hug and say what they needed to say.
she keeps talking about everything being on her left. What's on her left? If she's laying down, is
I
it the
was on her
machine?
left.
You're on, and she says
and and the things that she was plugged into.
well, she says that you kept talking to me
Mm,
and you kept reassuring her, and that she says you knew without a doubt you knew what needed to be done, even though you didn't want to make those tough decisions or be there. And I feel like maybe her husband had to make them, but you were right there. She says you were in the trenches. Does that make sense?
it does. She and her brother and sister, we all knew when it was time to pull the plug because we could just see something about her that she was just done. She
And
was
she's
exhausted.
she's also saying, and yes, I'm haunting you because her laugh is, I may not be in my body, but I'm still strong.
I believe that.
And I'm feeling a lot of people not saying things, but also just feeling that they're honored to be there to say goodbye to her. And she says most people would not have allowed all those individuals in to say goodbye, but you know how important it was that they
Yeah.
had their closure.
I was shocked. It was a school day. They were teachers. I'm like, who's watching the kids? I mean, other teachers who didn't know her volunteered, and I mean, it was just a nonstop line. And thankfully, the hospital didn't kick people out, even though we probably violated the number of people allowed
Yeah.
in that area. But there were just so many people that I notified a couple of people real quick that something's going on with Leilani. Here's what you need to know, and all of a sudden, people were showing up, and it was unbelievable. I had no idea just how much and how many loved and respected her and were crushed. So,
And she feels that way too. She was just being authentic to herself. And so for her, she didn't realize how many lives she had touched at such a young age.
yes, yes,
For her, it was, I just did me, is what I'm getting from her. I
it's
just did
true.
me.
It's true. She did.
I
Yeah,
really appreciate that you
thank
allowed
you.
me to have that connection with your daughter
Thank
and
you.
give you those messages and that you were open to it. And I really want you to fight the fight with what
Yes.
you're going through because it's not
Mhm.
your time.
Yeah.
And what I always tell everybody is, even though they're on the other side, they're always by your side. And I'm grateful and honored that you were open to this opportunity. Okay.
Thank you. I'm very thankful for you
Thank
to do this for me. Thank you so much. Leilani was a very kind, caring person. She was very passionate about being an educator. That was a later life decision to go down that path. She'd studied to be a psychologist and then got convinced that she should really be an educator because she's so great with children. And she became very passionate about that. Got her master's degree in education and then got another master's degree to be an assistant principal and just made a huge difference for children And so she was very well respected for what she was able to do, not only for teachers to help them be better teachers, but for a lot of especially low-income children that she helped as a teacher or as the coach for their teachers. So there was a lot that she contributed to the world. She said she was the favorite child, and she was the youngest. So I had 3 children in 3 years and 1 day. So they're super close together. Graduated each year, 1 year after another from all their grade levels in high school. And, she had quite the personality for bringing our family together. She is more around me, even more today. And even more, obviously from Deb's reading, yes. Since her son finally moved out on his own with a lot of encouragement, I have felt even more having conversations with her. I'm living alone, so I have a bookshelf with, her ashes and her pictures and just a lot of things that help me remember her. And I talked to her. I talked to her right before the reading too to say, okay, Leilani, I need to hear what you have to say. I think I know, but it just makes me feel good to hear from you. I feel just warm and loved. It helped me to hear that from her.
And everyone, please remember, even though your loved ones are on the other side, they are still by your side. I am Deb Sheppard. I look forward to seeing you next time on Grieving to Believing.